In this second video of the series, we'll be explaining the Stormgate user interface through which you will control the game. Because this is only the second video in this Stormgate Beginner's Guide series, I'll assume that you've never played a real-time strategy game before. The topics covered in this Stormgate video will be about the camera, basic controls, user interface, how to control your units, and how to issue commands to your units. Let me guide you through, and by the end of this series of videos, I'm sure we'll be going through some pretty high-level stuff, but to start us off, let's talk about the camera. There are several ways to move the camera and your field of vision in Stormgate. The first way is by panning your mouse to the edges of your game screen, where it should feel as though you are trying to move your mouse cursor through the edge of your monitor. This mode of moving the camera is best for moving over the map in small distances, quickly and easily. At any given time, your game camera is focused on a small area of the map, and you can see the whole of the map in what we call the minimap. The minimap shows you the entire game board in a miniature form. You can see the terrain, units and structures on the map and other important features such as resources, creep camps and objectives. The area that the camera is currently fixed on is outlined with a white border. Whilst you can see your own units and structures in your minimap, you'll need vision of your enemy's units and structures for them to show on your minimap, otherwise their presence will be hidden, and the best way to get that vision is by using one of your scouting units. To quickly move your camera field of vision large distances over the game board, you might want to do so by clicking where you want to go on the minimap, and that is the second way to move your camera. The third way to move around the map in Stormgate is to simply use the arrow keys on your keyboard. And a fourth way to move the map would be to click on your mouse wheel or your middle button and then drag the map with your mouse. Overall, I'd recommend using the combinations of the first two methods of moving your camera when playing Stormgate. In this next segment of the video, we're going to take a look at how we can select units, but also look at the user interface. If you move your mouse cursor over a unit or structure in Stormgate, you'll see a green target and also a broken dotted moving circle appear at the base of the unit. This will mean that when you click with your left mouse button, this unit or structure will be selected. Once a unit or structure has been selected, you'll see a complete bright green static circle at the base of it. You'll also see your information panel at the bottom here change to show you what has been selected and some details about it. In particular, it will usually show you its health, which will be in green, and for units and structures that have activatable abilities, you'll also see how much energy it has in purple. If the unit or structure that you have selected can build or train something, you'll notice those options to do so on the bottom right, and well, let's take a closer look at this by taking the command post structure as an example. Once you have selected it, you'll notice that you have some options on the bottom right of your command console, which you can click to select. You'll notice also as you hover over your options, it gets highlighted and further information about it will be included in what is called the tooltip. The tooltip will show you how many resources it costs, the time it takes to make, as well as a brief description of what it is. These options will also have a keyboard shortcut known as a hotkey attached to it, and hotkeys acts as a quicker way to select those commands. For example, whilst you can select the command post and move your mouse cursor over a unit icon and then left click to select it, this process can be shortened by simply selecting the command post and then pressing A on your keyboard to cue training a Bob, for example, the worker unit for the Vanguard faction. You can press A multiple times in order to training multiple Bobs, and when you start training a unit or building a structure, you'll be able to see the progress of that command with a light blue progress bar that sits above it and also on your information panel. Taking a look at key data in your information panel, you'll see the in-game timer, your total saved up resources counts of Luminite and Therium, as well as your population supply. Your population supply acts as a limit to the number of units that you can have on the field at any given time, and when you train a unit, it will use up a supply, and when you lose a unit, it will free up some supply space. The first number indicates how much population supply you are using, and the second number shows you how much supply you have. Once you've reached your limit, you won't be able to train any further units, but you can increase your supply limit by building a habitat, if you're playing as a Vanguard faction that is, or the meat farm if you're playing as the Infernal Host. On the right side of your screen, you'll spot the control groups for your army, some of which will be automated, but also the ones that you assign in-game. We will be talking a lot more about control groups and hotkeys in a later dedicated video. While you have selected a unit, it will remain where it is and continue doing what it was doing until you issue an order. Most orders have a target, and so to move a unit, simply move your mouse over where you want it to go and click on your right mouse button. Depending on what you've targeted, your unit will perform the most suitable action. If you click on the ground, the unit will move to that location on the map with the most direct route that it can find. If you click on an enemy unit, your unit will follow and attack it when it can. If you click on a friendly unit, your selected unit will generally follow it. If you want to select a group of units or buildings, you can do so by clicking and holding your left mouse button and dragging it across the map to create a box. When you're happy with the size of the box and the units that are selected, you can let go of that left mouse button. Just note that if you have both units and structures inside that box, it's only the units that will be selected. A quick way of selecting all the units or structures of the same type on your screen is by double-clicking one of them. You can also hold your control key and press a unit or a structure to get the same effect. If you'd like to add units to your current selection, you can do so by holding the Shift key and then selecting the units that you'd like to add either by clicking them individually, double-clicking them, holding Control and clicking a unit, or making select boxes. The middle of your information panel will then show you the units that you have selected. If you left-click one of those icons, you select only that unit. If you want to remove a unit from a group of selected units, you can also hold the Shift key and left-click on the icon of that unit. You'll notice in the information panel of a group of units that you've selected, you'll be able to also see the health of those units too. Now that we are familiar with how to select units, let's talk about how to control them. Right-clicking on terrain with a selected group of units will default to issuing a move command. Considering that your units will ignore units firing at them when they have been issued with a move command, it's certainly a risky way to move across the map. A much safer way to move across the map is by using the attack command, and using hotkeys to do this efficiently. Simply select the units that you want to move, press A on your keyboard, and then left-click where you want them to go. What this achieves is that it moves your units to where you want them to be, but they will also stop to attack enemy units that cross their path. Be careful though, as if you select units and give it an attack command on any unit, it will attack it, even if it's your own. The next command is stop, and well, it does what it says. Your units will stop. The next command is hold position, which is different in that units with this command will not do anything to move from that position, even if it means being killed. Lastly, we have the patrol, and this is used by selecting a group of units, selecting patrol, and then selecting a location on the map you wish those units to patrol from its starting location to your selected location. You can add subsequent segments to the patrol route by holding Shift and issuing the patrol command. It will patrol the routes you select indefinitely and fire at enemies in their range. Now, these move commands do enable a bit of micromanagement of your units and the way they move, and it's very interesting, but we will be taking a look at that in another video. So that covers the bread and butter basics of the controls and user interface in Stormgate. I'm hoping that this beginner's guide for Stormgate is helping a lot of people, so let me know in the comment section below which year are you watching this in. Who knows, maybe in 10 years time you guys will still be watching this video. Now, if you did enjoy this video and would like to see a lot more Stormgate content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. But more importantly, if you want to now move on to the third video of the beginner's guide, click the end card on your screen right now. Take care and see you next time.